2026 will not wait for those who seek attention, approval, or validation. It will reward only those who master themselves, focus relentlessly, and act while the world is distracted. While most people talk goals, you will execute quietly. While they chase approval, you will protect your energy. While they follow noise, you will sharpen your vision. This year belongs to the disciplined, the relentless, and the self-mastered, and if you listen closely, it's your time to rise. Silence is not weakness. It is the weapon of the wise, the tool of the relentless, and the signal of unstoppable power. Those who speak too often reveal too much. They give away their energy, their strategy, and their momentum. But those who understand the value of silence know that the strongest victories are often prepared in secret, executed in solitude, and revealed only when the time is right. Too many people mistake noise for progress. They post updates, they explain their plans, they seek validation from the very people who will never understand the depth of their ambition. But the truth is simple. Talk does not create results. Action does. Your goals, your dreams, your destiny, they do not require anyone's approval. They require your focus, your discipline, and your relentless commitment. When you choose silence, you choose power. You reclaim the most valuable resource you have, your attention. Every unnecessary conversation, every attempt to justify yourself, every defense of your choices steals energy that could be used to build, to grow, to execute. The louder the world becomes, the more precious quiet focus becomes. In silence, the mind sharpens, clarity emerges, and your ability to act decisively increases. Those who fail often do so because they reveal their plans before they are ready. They explain their dreams to people who lack vision, and then they allow doubt to creep in from the outside. But you, the one who understands silence, will not fall into that trap. You will let your preparation speak for you, and when the moment arrives, your results will shock everyone. People will ask how you did it. They will want to know your secret. You will simply smile because the secret was never in talking. It was in focusing, grinding, and executing while the world slept. Silence is not hiding. It is preparation. Every successful person you admire built their foundation quietly. They studied while others partied. They practiced while others procrastinated. They improved themselves while others wasted energy on arguments, comparisons, and distractions. And when the world finally noticed, the impact was undeniable. This is how power is built, not by words, not by announcements, but by relentless, invisible action. 2026 is not going to wait for anyone. Those who choose to chase attention, to argue, to explain, to perform for others, will fall behind. Those who embrace silence, who focus on themselves, who protect their energy, will surge ahead. The difference between mediocrity and greatness is often invisible to the untrained eye because greatness is crafted in quiet, disciplined hours. And when that greatness finally emerges, it cannot be ignored, it cannot be stopped, and it will define your legacy. Your life is not a performance for others. It is a masterpiece being built in private. Stop seeking approval, stop defending your actions, and stop justifying your choices. Energy spent on these things is energy stolen from your vision. Instead, invest that energy into what matters most: your skills, your habits, your growth, and your results. Build momentum in silence, and when the time comes to reveal your work, the world will listen, not because you shouted, but because you delivered what others only promised. Silence also cultivates clarity. In the quiet, your mind can see clearly what must be done. It separates opportunity from distraction. It distinguishes those who truly matter from those who drain your energy. It allows you to plan Eat precision, act with confidence, and grow without interference. Every great decision, every significant breakthrough begins in moments of focused quiet, in moments where external noise is shut out and your vision is allowed to take shape without compromise. Most people never understand the power of silence because they fear being invisible. They believe attention equals success, but attention without action is worthless. Results are what speak. Discipline is what commands respect. Silence is what gives you the strength to achieve it all without the need for approval, recognition, or applause. So, in 2026, make the choice. Focus on yourself. Protect your energy. You feel the urge to explain your choices. Remind yourself that the right people will recognize results without needing a single word. Results do not require justification. Success does not need permission. Ambition thrives in silence, grows in focus, and is executed with discipline. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in a sense it does. Ambition is fragile. It can be killed by doubt, distraction, and the constant need to explain yourself to others. People who succeed understand this. They do not engage with unnecessary criticism or opinions. They do not defend their actions or promise what they will deliver. They focus entirely on doing the work. And when the work is done, the results speak so loudly that explanation becomes unnecessary. The habit of over-explaining is a trap. It creates dependency on validation. It trains your mind to seek approval before action. And it kills boldness. Ambition cannot grow in the soil of validation. It grows in the soil of independence, self-reliance, and unwavering focus. The more you insist on explaining, the more your ambition is diluted. Every ounce of energy given away is an ounce of opportunity lost. Every explanation is a delay in the work that actually matters. Learn to embrace silence. Learn to let action be louder than words. The ambitious person understands that visibility is a byproduct of results, not of explanations. While others are busy defending their choices, you are building, growing, and preparing for the moment when your results will make your statement for you. The world will notice your progress because it will be impossible to ignore. You will not need to shout, argue, or justify. Your ambition will roar through your achievements. Energy wasted on explanation also breeds frustration. The more you try to convince others, the more you get pulled into their limitations, their doubts, and their negativity. You absorb their opinions, and it slows you down. You lose focus on the only thing that matters, your work, your goals, and your vision. By refusing to explain, you free yourself from the need for approval, you shield your mind from distractions, and you cultivate the kind of discipline that turns ambition into unstoppable momentum. In 2026, make this your mantra: stop explaining. Start executing. Protect your energy. Speak less, act more, and let results speak for themselves. The world will not notice your words, but it will notice your achievements. Ambition is a quiet force. It does not plead for recognition. It does not defend itself. It moves forward relentlessly, invisibly, and with unshakable focus until the moment comes when it cannot be ignored. Energy wasted on explanation kills ambition, but energy invested in focused action builds empires. Stop giving away your power. Stop trying to justify your vision to those who cannot understand it. Protect your attention, guard your focus, and act decisively. The less you explain, the more you accomplish. The more you accomplish, the louder your impact. And in the end, your results will speak so powerfully that no words will ever be needed. Your ambition is worth the silence. Your focus is worth the solitude. Your energy is worth the discipline. Protect it, channel it, multiply it, and let 2026 be the year your results make all explanations obsolete. Your results are the loudest introduction. No one remembers promises. No one is impressed by explanations or plans. People do not applaud ideas until they are proven, and they do not respect words until they are backed by action. In a world full of talkers, the person who delivers results becomes instantly visible. Your work, your accomplishments, and the tangible outcomes you create are what define you, not your opinions, not your excuses, not the speeches you make. Too many people waste their time trying to explain themselves. They announce their ambitions, justify their choices, and defend their plans. And while they are busy talking, the world moves past them. Results, however, do not wait. Results speak louder than words because they cannot be ignored, denied, or dismissed. They command attention, respect, and opportunity. Every result you create is a statement that no words could ever match, and it introduces you to the world with authority, credibility, and undeniable power. Think about the most successful people you know. Did they earn recognition by explaining what they intended to do or by producing what they promised to do? Every achievement starts quietly, often in isolation, with focused action, discipline, and relentless effort. And when the achievement is ready, it announces itself in a way that no self-promotion can replicate. Your results are not just accomplishments. They are your reputation, your credibility, and your proof to the world that you are capable of more than anyone anticipated. Talking about what you will do is easy. Producing results is hard. That is why the majority never achieve greatness. While others are busy making excuses or justifying their intentions, you have the opportunity to quietly build, consistently improve, and create outcomes that speak volumes. Results are not about luck, nor about permission. They are about effort, consistency, and mastery. Every hour you spend working in silence, learning, refining, and growing multiplies the impact of the results you will eventually reveal. When you allow your results to do the talking, you eliminate the need for approval or validation. You remove the distraction of opinions that do not serve your purpose. People will judge less, admire more, and listen closely when they witness proof of your ability. There is a level of respect that can only be earned through achievement. It is impossible to fake, impossible to argue with, and impossible to ignore. Your results become your introduction, your legacy, and your influence all at once. Many fail to realize the power of results because they chase recognition before accomplishment. They believe visibility comes from noise, marketing, or talking about what they are going to do. But visibility built on words alone is fragile. It fades the moment the first expectation goes unmet. Results, on the other hand, are permanent. They create momentum, attract opportunity, and inspire respect. They are the unmistakable evidence that you are a force to be reckoned with. Every action you take, every habit you form, every discipline you enforce quietly builds the foundation for results that cannot be ignored. While others chase applause and validation, you focus on impact. While others spend energy explaining, you invest energy creating. And when your results appear, they introduce you as someone who does not just talk, someone who delivers. This is the kind of introduction that opens doors, commands attention, and positions you as a leader in any arena you enter. Let the world underestimate you. Let others doubt you. Let them talk while you act. Because results are not only louder than words, they are irrefutable evidence. They are proof of commitment, proof of resilience, proof that you are willing to do what others are not. And when people finally witness the outcomes of your work, they will recognize not just what you have done, but the effort, strategy, and discipline behind it. This recognition is far more powerful than anything you could ever say in explanation or justification. Your results do not just serve as an introduction to the world, they redefine the perception of who you are. They eliminate doubt, silence critics, and position you as someone who commands respect without demanding it. They communicate confidence, capability, and character. In every room you enter, in every opportunity you pursue, your results speak before you do, creating influence that words alone cannot achieve. 2026 is the year to embrace this principle fully. Stop over-explaining. Stop seeking approval for what you are planning. Stop justifying your ambitions to those who cannot understand them. Instead, focus on producing outcomes that cannot be ignored. Let your discipline, consistency, and relentless effort shape results so powerful that they introduce you to the world more effectively than any words, pitch, or claim ever could. Remember, words can inspire, but results command. Results are undeniable. Results leave a mark. And your results, when cultivated with focus, courage, and relentless action, will be the loudest introduction you ever make, one that echoes far beyond any conversation, post, or promise. Your results will not just define 2026, they will define your future, your reputation, and your legacy. Focus on delivering, executing, and creating. Let the world see the proof of your ambition, the reality of your dedication, and the tangible outcomes of your relentless focus. Your results are not just an introduction, they are your signature, your authority, and your most powerful message. Focus requires detachment from noise, opinions, and validation. To achieve greatness, you must learn to step away from the distractions that consume the attention of ordinary people. Every opinion offered without insight, every demand for your approval, every conversation that drifts into judgment or criticism is a subtle thief of your energy. The world is full of noise, but those who achieve extraordinary results understand that clarity emerges only when distractions are ignored and attention is guarded fiercely. Most people are addicted to external validation. They seek approval for every decision, explanation for every plan, and reassurance for every step. But ambition does not thrive on applause. Success does not depend on others understanding your journey. Your focus, your drive, and your actions are what matter. To focus, you must detach from the constant pull of other people's opinions. You must recognize that seeking validation is a silent killer of progress. The more you chase approval, the more diluted your energy becomes, and the farther you drift from your goals. Noise is everywhere, in social media, in conversations, in emails, and even in well-meaning advice. But distraction masquerades as opportunity far too often. When you allow noise to penetrate your mind, it fragments your attention, slows your decisions, and weakens your momentum. The people who succeed understand that detachment is not isolation. It is strategic protection of the one thing that determines results, your focus. When you shield yourself from unnecessary input, your mind sharpens. Every decision becomes clearer, every action more deliberate, and every goal more attainable. Detachment from opinions also cultivates independence. When you are no longer swayed by what others think, you gain the freedom to act without hesitation. Your confidence does not depend on agreement, it depends on preparation. Your power does not rely on approval, it relies on your ability to execute. The noise of doubters cannot penetrate a mind committed to growth. The chatter of skeptics fades in the presence of disciplined effort. And the more you detach, the louder your actions speak. Validation is another silent killer of ambition. The need to be understood, liked, or recognized before achieving anything consumes the very energy required to make progress. Those who rely on validation are prisoners of external opinion, while those who detach create momentum that cannot be interrupted. Focus thrives in independence. It grows in the soil of self-reliance, discipline, and quiet commitment to purpose. Every moment spent trying to win someone else's approval is a moment stolen from building your life, your skills, and your results. To detach is not to ignore reality, it is to filter what deserves your energy. You must distinguish between criticism that can teach you something and noise that only seeks to distract you. You must prioritize action over conversation, execution over explanation. When you master this, detachment, your focus becomes unstoppable. Your mind is no longer fragmented by endless debates, conflicting advice, or the desire to be understood. Instead, it is laser-focused on the goals that will define your life, your career, and your legacy. The ability to detach from noise, opinions, and validation also protects your energy for what truly matters: consistent action. The world is full of talkers, critics, and spectators. Most of them will never take meaningful steps themselves, yet they will attempt to pull you into arguments, debates, and distractions. The difference between average people and high achievers is simple. Those who focus do not engage with the noise, they engage with the work. The more disciplined your detachment, the more unstoppable your momentum becomes. Every great accomplishment in history has required the ability to detach. Inventors, entrepreneurs, leaders, and pioneers achieved results not because everyone supported them, but because they refused to let opinions dictate their actions. They prioritized execution over discussion, action over approval, and results over explanation. Their focus was their power, and their detachment allowed them to cultivate it without interruption. Your journey in 2026 should mirror this principle. Energy spent defending, explaining, or validating is energy lost forever. Every distraction avoided is an opportunity gained. Every opinion ignored is a step closer to your goal. Detachment is not an act of arrogance, it is an act of intelligence. It is an understanding that your time, attention, and energy are limited resources. When you commit to this mindset, you no longer allow the noise of the world to determine your trajectory. Instead, you control your trajectory. You decide what deserves your focus. You act with clarity, precision, and relentless discipline. And when the world finally sees your results, it will be undeniable your success was built not on validation or approval, but on a singular, unwavering commitment to your own vision. In 2026, make this principle your foundation. Detach from noise, opinions, and validation. Protect your mind from distractions. Filter out the unnecessary input. Focus on the work that matters. The fewer explanations you offer, the more energy you have to execute. The less you seek approval, the more power you develop. The quieter you become, the stronger your results will speak. Focus requires detachment because greatness cannot coexist with distraction. Ambition cannot grow in the presence of constant judgment. Progress cannot be made when energy is spent pleasing others. The extraordinary are not swayed by the noise of the world. They are driven by purpose, strengthened by discipline, and guided by the results that emerge from their unwavering focus. Detach. Protect your energy, ignore the noise, pursue your purpose, execute relentlessly. Let your results, not your words, define who you are. The power of focus lies in detachment, and those who master it will make 2026 a year of unstoppable growth, achievement, and undeniable impact. The disciplined mind grows in silence. It is in the quiet moments, away from distractions and the endless chatter of the world, that true power is forged. While others waste their days seeking attention, validating themselves through social media, or reacting to every opinion, the disciplined person understands that growth is not a performance. It is a process. Silence is not empty. It is fertile soil. In this soil, focus takes root, habits are cultivated, and the mind strengthens in ways that noise could never allow. Most people misunderstand silence. They think that talking, performing, and constantly explaining themselves is a sign of progress. They believe recognition comes from how loudly they can make themselves heard. But real growth, the kind that transforms dreams into results, occurs when the mind is quiet, observant, and fully dedicated to self-mastery. In silence, distractions fade, and the mind's energy is no longer scattered across endless opinions, doubts, and interruptions. It becomes concentrated, sharp, and capable of producing work that speaks for itself. The disciplined mind does not seek validation. It does not need applause to feel motivated. It does not measure success by comparison or the approval of others. Instead, it relies on its own standards, its own goals, and its own unwavering commitment to improvement. In silence, the mind develops self-reliance, resilience, and clarity. It is free from the influence of criticism, the pull of peer pressure, and the trap of external expectations. Every moment spent in disciplined silence compounds over time, building strength that is invisible to the casual observer but undeniable in its results. Growth in silence also fosters reflection. When the mind is still, it can assess its own progress, identify weaknesses, and make corrections without interference. The noisy world is full of distractions, many disguised as opportunities. Only by stepping away from the chaos can you truly see what matters, what works, and what will bring you closer to your goals. Silence allows you to think critically, act deliberately, and plan strategically. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, because the mind is no longer fractured by unnecessary input. The power of silence is further amplified by discipline. Discipline without focus is wasted potential, but discipline in quiet allows the mind to operate at its highest capacity. Habits are formed, strategies are refined, and persistence becomes natural. The world will continue to reward talkers, but talkers rarely sustain progress. The disciplined mind in silence builds foundations that last. Every hour spent working in quiet, away from noise and approval seeking, multiplies the impact of your effort. Consider the most successful people you know. Their results were not born from constant explanation or performance. They were born from hours, days, and years of quiet discipline. They read while others scrolled. They practiced while others procrastinated. They improved while others argued. And when the world finally noticed, the results were undeniable. Silence had given them the focus, clarity, and strength necessary to create work that spoke louder than any words ever could. A disciplined mind growing in silence is also a mind free from emotional chaos. The world is full of opinions, criticism, and negativity. When the mind is dependent on external feedback, it becomes vulnerable to doubt, fear, and distraction. Silence protects your energy, your vision, and your ambition. It allows you to act with confidence and purpose, unshaken by the noise surrounding you. It cultivates mental toughness, persistence, and the ability to make decisions that others are too distracted to see. This is the essence of true growth, not performance, not applause, not approval, but steady, disciplined progress made quietly every day. While the world is busy explaining, performing, and seeking validation, you are building the kind of momentum that is unstoppable. Every small step, every disciplined habit, every moment of focused effort in silence compounds. And when your results emerge, they will speak louder than any announcement, post, or claim could ever achieve. In 2026, let this principle guide you. Step away from the noise. Protect your focus. Cultivate discipline in silence. Let others argue, talk, and seek validation while you grow. Your mind is a powerful tool, but only when it is honed, focused, and free from distractions. Your actions, your results, and your character will reflect the strength built in these quiet, disciplined moments. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is growth. Silence is preparation. The disciplined mind understands that the louder the world gets, the more it needs stillness to thrive. It is in silence that skills are perfected, knowledge is internalized, and resilience is forged. It is in silence that you become unstoppable. Every achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation begins in quiet discipline. The world may never see the hours you put in, but it will feel the power of the results you create. Let 2026 be the year you embrace silence as your ally, discipline as your weapon, and focus as your guide. Grow quietly, act deliberately, and let your results announce your greatness louder than words ever could. Most people talk goals. Winners execute quietly. They announce, they explain, they debate, they seek validation, but talk alone changes nothing. Words are cheap, promises fade, and intentions mean nothing without action. The world is full of people who can articulate dreams better than they can achieve them, who spend their energy explaining plans instead of building results. But the quiet achievers, the ones who reach the top, understand a simple truth. Execution speaks louder than words, and consistent action is the only proof of ambition. Talking about your goals gives the illusion of progress. It makes you feel productive while you are still standing still. It makes you think you are moving forward while your energy is being wasted on approval, attention, or the opinions of people who do not share your vision. Winners, on the other hand, conserve their energy. They understand that every word spent defending a plan is a moment stolen from executing it. They know that while others are busy talking, they can be quietly building, improving, learning, and multiplying their efforts. The difference between talkers and winners is consistency. Talkers shout about goals they rarely pursue. They are motivated by recognition, praise, or the illusion of achievement. Winners are motivated by results. They do not require validation to act. They do not measure success by applause, but by tangible progress. Every quiet action they take compounds over time, creating momentum that cannot be faked, ignored, or stolen. This momentum becomes the invisible force that propels them forward, while the talkers remain stuck in a cycle of words and excuses. Execution requires focus, discipline, and patience. It requires the ability to detach from distractions, opinions, and noise. Most people cannot sustain this level of focus because it demands sacrifice and delayed gratification. They seek immediate recognition, applause, or social validation. Winners embrace discomfort. They embrace solitude. They understand that the loudest introductions are not made with words. They are made with results. Every project completed, every skill mastered, every goal achieved quietly announces their presence without a single explanation. Winners understand that visibility comes after results, not before. You do not build credibility by announcing it. You build it by earning it. The world respects results, not intentions. If you want to rise above mediocrity, you must do the work others avoid. You must persist while others complain, execute while others debate, and act while others are distracted by noise. This is the essence of quiet achievement, work that speaks for itself, effort that compounds unseen, and results that demand attention without a single word. Most people underestimate the power of quiet execution. They think that recognition is tied to performance. But true recognition follows achievement. When you act quietly, you remove the need for validation and eliminate unnecessary stress. You free yourself from the opinions of those who will never understand your vision. You conserve energy for what truly matters, building the skills, habits, and outcomes that define success. Silence, when paired with relentless execution, becomes your greatest advantage in a world full of talkers. Every hour spent acting in silence is an investment in your future. Every small step, every disciplined habit, every quiet effort compounds into results that cannot be denied. Winners know that slow, deliberate, and consistent action outperform flashy intentions every time. They do not chase approval. They do not boast about progress. They act, they improve, and when the world finally takes notice, their results speak volumes. Executing quietly also requires courage. It requires resisting the urge to explain, justify, or perform for others. It means staying focused on your own journey while others measure their worth by attention or approval. The courage to act silently is the courage to trust yourself, trust your process, and trust that the results will one day announce your worth louder than any words ever could. This courage separates mediocrity from excellence, and it is the hallmark of every winner. 2026 is a year to embrace quiet execution. Stop talking about your goals. Stop announcing intentions. Stop seeking validation for plans that are not yet realized. Focus on the work that builds results, skills, and momentum. Invest your energy in effort, not explanation. Build habits that produce results, not attention. Let your actions, your persistence, and your discipline define you, while others remain distracted by noise, opinions, and recognition seeking. Remember, the world is full of talkers. They will try to convince you that visibility equals success. They will question why you do not broadcast every step. Do not be swayed. The winners are the quiet ones, the ones whose results speak louder than any announcement ever could. The more you execute quietly, the stronger your foundation becomes, and the more powerful your impact will be when it is finally revealed. Most people talk goals. Winners execute quietly. Let this be your mantra in 2026. Focus on action. Protect your energy. Build silently. Work relentlessly. And when your results emerge, they will not just introduce you, they will define you. No explanation, no performance, no justification is necessary. Your results will speak and the world will listen. Your environment must be controlled or it will control you. Every sound you hear, every person you spend time with, every space you occupy, all of it influences your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your results. Most people underestimate how much their surroundings dictate their outcomes. They allow distractions, negativity, and chaos to infiltrate their daily lives, and before they know it, their ambitions are hijacked by forces outside their control. If you want to achieve greatness, you must take ownership of your environment. You must create conditions that support focus, discipline, and relentless progress. The truth is simple. Human beings are shaped by what they are exposed to. Constant exposure to negativity, gossip, or mediocrity dulls ambition. Energy drains quickly when the mind is surrounded by confusion and distraction. On the other hand, when your environment aligns with your goals, it amplifies your effort, sharpens your focus, and accelerates your growth. Winners do not wait for the perfect environment, they create it. They remove obstacles, filter out noise, and design spaces where productivity, discipline, and excellence are the default. Your environment is not just physical, it is mental and emotional as well. The media you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the habits you allow yourself to develop all contribute to shaping your reality. If you allow toxic influences to dominate your attention, your energy is diverted from action to reaction. You begin to live according to the expectations, opinions, and limitations of others instead of your own vision. Control your environment, and you regain authority over your energy, your choices, and your results. Consider the people who achieve extraordinary success. They do not surround themselves with distractions or negative voices. They carefully select their spaces, their relationships, and the inputs that feed their minds. They know that excellence cannot coexist with chaos. They remove anything that hinders growth, protect their time as if it were currency, and design routines that optimize focus and performance. This is not happenstance. It is deliberate, intentional, and non-negotiable. Discipline alone is not enough if your environment is working against you. You can have the best mindset, the clearest goals, and the strongest habits, but if you are surrounded by energy that conflicts with your ambition, your progress will stall. The television shows, social media feeds, conversations, and daily routines you allow into your life have a cumulative effect. They either empower you or weaken you. Winners understand this. They curate their environment carefully to ensure that every input aligns with their mission and amplifies their effort. Controlling your environment also means controlling who you spend your time with. Relationships are the most influential factor in shaping your habits, attitude, and ambitions. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward growth. Distance yourself from those who drain energy, encourage excuses, or normalize mediocrity. Your focus is too valuable to let others dictate its direction. The people around you are either stepping stones or anchors. It is your responsibility to decide which they will be. Your environment must also account for mental clarity. Silence, structure, and routine are not luxuries. They are necessities for a disciplined mind. Every distraction avoided, every unnecessary interaction eliminated, every chaotic input removed, compounds into clarity of thought and efficiency of action. A controlled environment allows your mind to operate at peak capacity. It protects your energy, sharpens your decision-making, and multiplies your results. When you actively design and control your environment, you create momentum. Momentum is what separates talkers from doers. The more aligned your surroundings are with your goals, the easier it is to focus, execute, and persist when others give up. It is not just about removing negatives, it is about creating positives. Environments that encourage creativity, accountability, and excellence become accelerators for success. Every element in your space should either support your mission or be removed entirely. Failing to control your environment is a silent killer of ambition. You may think you are disciplined, but the world has a way of subtly pulling you off course. The noise of distraction, the influence of negative people, and the chaos of unstructured spaces slowly erode focus, confidence, and determination. Those who do not manage their environment are often reacting to life rather than shaping it. Those who master their environment, however, dictate the conditions under which they operate, and in doing so, they create a life of purpose, progress, and unstoppable momentum. In 2026, make it your mission to take full control of your environment. Filter your inputs. Choose your relationships carefully. Optimize your spaces for focus, energy, and growth. Remove distractions before they remove your results. Surround yourself with positivity, discipline, and clarity. The stronger your environment, the stronger your mind, the sharper your focus, and the greater your achievements. Your environment can either be your greatest ally or your greatest obstacle. The choice is yours. Control it, and you control your destiny. Ignore it, and it will control you. Protect your time, protect your energy, and protect your ambition. Design the conditions that will allow you to thrive, execute relentlessly, and achieve results that speak louder than any words ever could. Remember this, your environment is not just where you live. It is the foundation of your success. Take ownership, take control, and let 2026 be the year your environment propels you toward unstoppable achievement. Consistency beats talent when focus is absolute. Talent alone is not enough. Natural ability, clever ideas, or occasional bursts of inspiration will only take you so far. Many people with extraordinary talent fail because they lack consistency. They start strong, but when the routine, the grind, and the repetition become uncomfortable, they quit. Focused consistency is what separates ordinary people from extraordinary achievers. It is the relentless commitment to action day after day that transforms potential into results and vision into reality. Talent may get attention, but consistency builds empires. Talent shines for a moment, but consistency endures for a lifetime. A person with moderate skill but relentless focus and daily action will outperform the most gifted individual who relies on talent alone. This is not theory. It is proven in every arena of life. Business, sports, art, education, and leadership all follow the same rule. Consistent effort with absolute focus always outweighs raw ability. The problem is that consistency requires discipline. It requires doing what must be done even when you do not feel like it. It requires showing up when others are resting, learning when others are distracted, and pushing forward when others quit. Talent without this level of discipline will plateau or fade, but a consistent, focused person grows stronger every day. Every small effort compounds, every action multiplies, and every repetition brings you closer to mastery. Absolute focus is the multiplier of consistency. Without focus, consistency can become aimless. You can show up every day, but if your energy is scattered, if your mind is distracted, your effort produces little result. Winners are not only consistent, they are strategically consistent. They concentrate their energy on high-value actions, eliminate distractions, and align every effort with their goals. Focus turns repetition into progress, habits into skills, and practice into excellence. Consistency also builds resilience. Life will challenge you. Obstacles will appear, and setbacks are inevitable. Talent alone does not guarantee perseverance. Only the disciplined, consistent, and focused individual continues to act when conditions are tough. Each small, deliberate step taken despite difficulty strengthens not just skill, but character, willpower, and confidence. Over time, these small wins accumulate into unstoppable momentum, creating an advantage that talent alone cannot match. Consider the most successful people you know. Rarely are they the most talented at the start. Many of them began as underdogs, facing competition from naturally gifted individuals. Yet they succeeded because of their habit of showing up, their ability to focus relentlessly, and their refusal to let distractions or setbacks derail them. Talent opens doors, but consistency keeps you walking through them and eventually builds the life others can only dream of. Consistency is also a mindset. It is the understanding that success is not a single event, but a process. It is the willingness to commit to long-term effort, even when immediate results are invisible. Talent may provide initial flashes of brilliance, but it is consistency that illuminates the path over time. Focused, daily action compounds into expertise, authority, and results that demand recognition. In 2026, make consistency your weapon and focus your amplifier. Align your daily actions with your goals. Protect your energy from distractions and opinions that do not serve your mission. Talent may give you an edge at the starting line, but consistency will carry you across the finish line. The person who shows up, practices deliberately, and executes relentlessly, even when unmotivated, will always surpass the person who relies on talent alone. Consistency also creates credibility. People begin to trust results, predictability, and reliability over flashy ideas or sporadic performance. When you act with discipline and focus, your results become unavoidable. Your reputation grows not from announcements or promises, but from repeated demonstrations of excellence. Talent may attract attention, but consistency calm. Man's respect. It is the quiet force behind legendary achievements. Absolute focus magnifies the impact of every consistent action. It turns repetition into mastery. It turns small wins into monumental victories, and it ensures that effort is never wasted. Focus allows you to prioritize high-value actions, avoid distractions, and maintain momentum even when the journey is long and difficult. Without focus, consistency risks mediocrity. With focus, consistency guarantees greatness. Remember, talent is temporary, consistency is permanent. Talent can be outperformed. Talent can plateau. Talent can fade. But when focus is absolute, consistency is unstoppable. It is the combination of repeated effort, deliberate action, and unbroken focus that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the key to mastery, influence, and legacy. In 2026, let this principle guide you. Consistency beats talent when focus is absolute. Commit to showing up daily. Align every action with your goals. Protect your energy. Eliminate distractions. Build habits. Execute relentlessly. Talent may get the spotlight, but consistency with focus will build your empire, define your legacy, and make your results undeniable. Silence sharpens vision and strengthens self-belief. In a world filled with constant noise, endless opinions, and nonstop distractions, those who embrace silence gain an extraordinary advantage. Most people talk more than they act. They seek validation in the words of others and allow outside influence to cloud their judgment. But the person who masters silence learns to hear their own thoughts, trust their own instincts, and focus on the path that leads to true achievement. In the quiet, clarity emerges and confidence grows unshakable. When you remove the chatter of the world, you create space to see clearly. Noise clouds judgment and blurs priorities. Opinions pull you in multiple directions, leaving you fragmented and indecisive, but silence allows the mind to isolate what truly matters. It is in this space that vision is born, not from wishful thinking, not from what others tell you is possible, but from deep personal understanding of your goals and the steps needed to reach them. The more you practice quiet focus, the sharper your perception becomes. You begin to recognize opportunities others overlook, see threats before they materialize, and anticipate the moves required to succeed. Silence also builds resilience and self-belief. Every time you act without seeking approval or validation, you reinforce trust in yourself. You prove that your instincts, your discipline, and your commitment are sufficient. The world is full of people who doubt, criticize, or discourage. If you rely on external approval, every voice becomes a potential obstacle. But the disciplined person in silence strengthens their inner foundation, making them impervious to negativity. Confidence becomes internal, grounded not in praise but in action, effort, and results. Consider the power of reflection. In silence, you can assess your progress, identify weaknesses, and plan strategically without interference. You can learn from mistakes, adapt, and improve without the noise of judgment or comparison. Most people avoid silence because it forces them to confront themselves, but it is in these moments of solitude that the most extraordinary growth occurs. The quiet mind is a calculating mind, a creative mind, and a resilient mind. Every decision made in clarity is more precise, every action more deliberate, and every step forward more powerful. Silence also fosters discipline. When you remove external distractions, your energy can be devoted fully to what matters. Habits are reinforced, skills are honed, and focus is strengthened. The world rewards those who act, not those who talk. By embracing quiet, you cultivate the consistency needed to outperform talent, maintain momentum, and achieve results that speak louder than words ever could. Each hour spent in deliberate, silent effort compounds into skill, knowledge, and the kind of self-belief that cannot be shaken by setbacks or doubt. Most people fear silence because it exposes them to their own thoughts, doubts, and uncertainties. They seek distraction to avoid introspection, but winners embrace it. They use silence as a tool to clarify vision, build mental strength, and reinforce self-belief. In these moments, you learn what you are capable of, what you must improve, and how to overcome obstacles without relying on anyone else. Silence becomes not just a refuge, but a training ground for greatness. The strength gained from silence is amplified when paired with action. Quiet reflection alone is not enough. It must guide deliberate effort. The combination of thoughtful preparation and decisive execution is unstoppable while others are distracted. By noise, comparison, or the need for approval, you are advancing, building, and achieving. Each step forward strengthens the belief that you can overcome challenges, reach your goals, and fulfill your potential. Your vision grows sharper because silence allows you to focus on the long term, not the immediate. Noise encourages distraction, impulsivity, and short-term gratification. Silence, on the other hand, cultivates patience, perspective, and strategic thinking. You learn to prioritize, plan, and act in alignment with your highest objectives. And as your vision becomes clearer, your confidence in your ability to achieve it grows. Every achievement, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you are capable of more than others expect. In 2026, make silence a priority. Protect your mind from unnecessary chatter. Seek moments of reflection, focus, and solitude. Use these moments to clarify your vision, plan your actions, and strengthen your self-belief. The world will continue to make noise, offer opinions, and demand attention, but your results, your clarity, and your confidence will come from the strength you build in quiet. Silence sharpens vision and strengthens self-belief because it removes interference, intensifies focus, and forces the mind to rely on itself. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every display of mastery begins with quiet preparation. It is the unseen work, the internal confidence, and the mental clarity gained in solitude that eventually commands attention, respect, and results. The more you embrace silence, the more unstoppable you become. Remember, the world may celebrate noise, but it respects results. It may applaud bold words, but it cannot ignore undeniable performance. By growing in silence, sharpening your vision, and reinforcing self-belief, you position yourself to act decisively, achieve consistently, and rise above those distracted by chatter and opinion. Let 2026 be the year your silence becomes your power, your vision becomes your guide, and your self-belief becomes unshakable. 2026 belongs to those who master themselves before trying to impress others. In a world obsessed with appearance, validation, and attention, most people spend their energy on the wrong things. They worry about what others think, strive to be noticed, and attempt to impress people who have no influence on their success. But those who achieve extraordinary results understand that mastery begins from within. Control your mind, your habits, your discipline, and your focus first, and everything else follows. The world only respects the power that comes from self-mastery, not the illusion of it. Self-mastery is the foundation of all achievement. Without it, talent, ideas, and ambition are wasted. A person who cannot control their thoughts, emotions, or actions will constantly be pulled off course by distractions, opinions, and temporary temptations. They may speak boldly or promise much, but their results will be inconsistent at best. To master yourself is to build unshakable discipline, unwavering focus, and relentless determination. It is to act decisive. Think clearly, and maintain momentum when others falter. The first step to self-mastery is understanding that your energy is finite. Every action, every thought, every effort you expend is a resource. When you spend it on impressing others, debating unnecessary opinions, or seeking validation, you drain yourself of the power required to achieve your goals. The person who masters themselves prioritizes energy toward what matters, creating results, building skills, and executing relentlessly. They understand that their time and focus are far too valuable to be squandered on the approval of others. Those who attempt to impress before mastering themselves are always vulnerable to distraction. They react to criticism, chase applause, and measure success by external recognition. Their attention is divided, their priorities compromised, and their results mediocre. The world may notice their efforts briefly, but it rarely respects them. True influence, authority, and success come from those who cultivate inner strength first. When you master yourself, the approval of others becomes irrelevant because your confidence, capability, and direction are self-generated. Self-mastery also requires emotional control. In 2026, challenges will arise. Opportunities will be accompanied by risks. Criticism will be unavoidable. Those who cannot manage their emotions will falter, while those who remain composed, decisive, and resilient will thrive. Mastery over yourself allows you to respond deliberately rather than react impulsively. It enables you to maintain focus, execute strategies, and pursue your goals regardless of external circumstances. The stronger your self-mastery, the less the chaos of the world can shake your trajectory. Discipline is the cornerstone of self-mastery. Every habit you form, every routine you follow, and every consistent action you take builds the framework for success. While others are distracted by short-term gratification or the need for recognition, you are strengthening the very foundation that will carry you through challenges. Mastery is not demonstrated in flashy displays or attention-grabbing gestures. It is shown in quiet persistence, resilience, and deliberate progress every day. Vision is sharpened through self-mastery. When you are focused on controlling yourself first, you can clearly see the path forward. You are not swayed by opinions, external pressures, or fleeting trends. You understand what matters, what to pursue, and what to avoid. This clarity allows you to act strategically, prioritize effectively, and make decisions that compound into extraordinary results over time. Without self-mastery, vision is blurred and potential remains unfulfilled. 2026 will reward those who do not seek approval but instead cultivate competence. The world will always be noisy, full of distractions, opinions, and people vying for attention. Those who master themselves rise above the noise. They are calm when others panic, focused when others drift, and relentless when others hesitate. By prioritizing self-mastery, you gain a power that no external validation can provide: confidence, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Mastery also inspires others without effort. When you control yourself, act with discipline, and deliver results, the world naturally takes notice. You do not need to boast, explain, or impress. The strength you build silently commands respect. Attempts to impress without mastery are hollow, but the work of those who have disciplined themselves speaks louder than any words ever could. In 2026, make this principle your guiding strategy. Focus on mastering yourself before seeking to impress anyone else. Strengthen your mind, control your habits, refine your skills, and cultivate discipline. Protect your energy, prioritize your focus, and act decisively. The world may reward the loud, the flashy, and the attention-seeking, but it only respects those who have mastered themselves, those who act with purpose, execute relentlessly, and achieve consistently. Remember, mastery is not optional, it is essential. Approval, applause, and recognition are fleeting. Inner strength, focus, and disciplined action are permanent. If you dedicate yourself to mastering yourself first, the results, influence, and respect you seek will follow naturally. 2026 will belong to the disciplined, the focused, and the self-mastered, not to those who chase attention or approval before building their own power. Control yourself, master your habits, sharpen your focus, build your discipline. Let your results, not your words, define you. When you master yourself first, nothing in the world can stop you, and everything will fall in line behind your ambition. In the end, remember this: the world will never hand you success, validation, or recognition. It will challenge you, distract you, and test your resolve at every turn. But those who master themselves, who focus relentlessly, and who act with discipline will rise above the noise. Your results, your clarity, and your unwavering commitment will speak louder than any words ever could. 2026 belongs to the silent achievers, the relentless builders, and the self-masters. Control yourself, protect your energy, and execute with purpose. Let your actions define your legacy, and let the world witness the unstoppable force of someone who has mastered themselves first.